few days. The number of teenagers killed in alcohol-related accidents has been dropping because of a higher legal drinking age. Still, more than 200,000 Americans aged 15 to 19 are involved in such accidents each year. At least 5,000 of them die. But of course, statistics don't have names and don't have faces. And so tonight we want to tell you about 6 very good friends who died last month on a road in the Bronx in New York City. The driver, 18-year-old Danny Moriarty, was legally drunk when the car spun out of control and hit a tree, killing all 6. Producer Robert Allen has put together their story through the eyes and the voices of those who remember them.
If it was going to happen, it was going to happen. There's no stopping.
When I heard about the accident, I was in shock. I couldn't believe it.
They were really good kids. They were smart. They had their whole lives ahead of them. When it happens, then everyone else has to realize that it can happen. Hey, it can happen to you. It can happen to your friends, anyone, your family, anyone it can happen to.
Police say the car, which carried 6 young Bronx people to their deaths this weekend, had to be traveling at more than twice the legal speed limit.
Police found beer in the car,
but there's a question of alcohol. Beer was reportedly found in the wreckage.
That strip is bad. If it was the alcohol, it was also the strip. Because, you know, you do 95 miles an hour, and there's some bad turns. You never know.
The media, they want to publicize that. It's a story for them, but it's not a story. It's a tragedy. People make mistakes, that's it. You know, you could have stopped it, but at that time, I don't think anyone wanted to. But Danny, you know, he was just a good kid, real good friend.
You can't force anyone not to do anything. I'm just angry that no one really got the opportunity to give him some help. I think maybe he could have used some help.
If you want to drink, you're going to drink. If you want to drink, you're going to call somebody up. Hey, let's go up to the park, get some beers. All started up in the park. That's where everyone starts off. Some nights it gets really packed. The whole park's filled. And the ages are around from 14 or around 21. And everyone's drinking mostly.
Alcohol, it's pretty easily be obtained. It's not. There's always a store in the neighborhood. There's always a bar that serves you. There's always a club that you can get into.
Teresa and Mike Moriarty buried their 18-year-old son today, this most painful of days, made perhaps even more so by the medical examiner's announcement of late yesterday.
By the time the funeral came, you see them taking the coffin out, and you see the parents and the family. That's when you realize that you're never going to see them again. You're in shock, like, because for me, it was like different, because I was in the car with them earlier, so like I was realizing that that could have been me easily. I remember like exactly how everyone was sitting in the car, and it was like Danny was driving, you was sitting in the front, Brian and Marty were in the back. I slapped Huey's hand, and he was like, "I'll see you later." That's all. That's like the picture I always keep, like saying goodbye to everyone.
But the whole situation happening, I think, basically brought me back to reality, gave me a sense of what could happen.
Last week, a friend of mine came over, and he was driving and he was drunk, you know. But I took his keys away from him, you know, and made sure he ate some and he drank, so. And then eventually, when I thought he was all right, you know, later on, I gave him back his keys when I thought he was better.
Nothing's going to bring them back. So you have to keep them in your prayers all the time, their souls in your prayer, and pray that this don't happen again. Everyone has their own time, so, I mean, God picked that time for them, and maybe he did need them, I don't know. Maybe he chose to use them as an example. It's a big example that maybe everyone will realize now, that you look at your friends now and you think how to treat them now. You got to get closer to your friends now, because it can happen to anyone. I'm very lucky, I think, that it could have been me easily.
You listen to that, ask what can be done, and we can report that there are some new steps planned against drunken driving. New Hampshire will ban open containers of alcohol in vehicles on highways, even for passengers, and Michigan will allow police to confiscate a license if a driver fails or refuses to even take an alcohol breath test.